You've all been in this exact situation, right? You're at a big group dinner, the bell arrives, and somebody inevitably says, hey, let's just split it evenly. But you just had a salad and a water, and now you're about to chip in for your friend's third cocktail and their lobster dinner. It is so frustrating. And guess what? It actually has a name. And this is the moment, isn't it? That awful sinking feeling when you do the math in your head. You realize that keeping the peace, being a good sport, has a very real price. You just paid a massive premium, not for the food, but literally for the privilege of having friends. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today, the friendship tax. It's this hidden, unspoken cost that gets taken from us every time we say yes to some social thing we know we can't really afford, all in the name of being a good friend. Now, the friendship tax isn't just one awkward dinner bill. No, it's a whole pattern of behavior. It's the destination weddings, the fancy birthday parties, the weekend getaways, all these events where the unspoken rule is you have to spend money just to participate. And the penalty for not paying up, well, it feels like you're going to be left out. And look, this is not just pocket change we're talking about. The average American spends over $4,000 a year on these kinds of social obligations. $4,000. That's not money you chose to spend on a cool vacation or to invest in your future. It's a tax, plain and simple. A tax that's being charged by your own social circle. So where is all this money actually going? Let's start with the really big ticket items, the major life milestones that have somehow turned into these incredibly expensive events for everyone except the people thereabouts. And for my money, the number one example of this has got to be the destination bachelor party. Your buddy is getting married, which is great, but suddenly you're expected to drop a whole week's pay on a 3-day trip to a city you didn't even pick, all to celebrate. It's a social construct that can feel, honestly, kind of predatory. And when you look at the breakdown, you see how fast it all adds up. $400 for a flight, another $300 for lodging, a couple hundred for food, and let's be real, at least $300 on drinks alone. Each piece on its own might seem sort of manageable, but when you put them all together, boom, you're looking at a $1,400 hole in your bank account for one single weekend. And you've got to remember, this isn't even the main event yet. This is just the warm-up act. Oh yeah, it just keeps on building because then you have to add the cost of actually going to the wedding. More travel, a hotel, a gift. You can easily tack on another $700. So suddenly, one friend's marriage has cost you more than $2,000. Now, multiply that by a few friends getting married every year, and the math starts to get pretty scary. But it's not just these huge blowout events. The friendship tax is also sneaky. It works on a much smaller, more frequent scale. It's this quiet drain on your finances that you could call death by 1,000 brunches. This scenario here just captures the dynamic perfectly. You walk into a birthday dinner with a plan, $40 max, burger and a beer. But then, the group reality takes over. The birthday person orders a round of champagne for the table, someone else gets a bunch of appetizers for everyone to share, and poof, your $40 plan is now an $85 bill that you're just expected to pay. And this is a classic example of lifestyle creep just worming its way into your friend group. It's so subtle. One friend gets a boat, and now you're always chipping in for gas. Another friend gets really into fancy wine, and suddenly your $10 bottle feels cheap and embarrassing. And don't even get me started on the group trip. It almost always ends up defaulting to the spending habits of the wealthiest person in the group, leaving everyone else quietly stressed and racking up credit card debt just to keep up. Okay, so if this is all so expensive and it causes so much stress, why on earth do we keep doing it? Why do we keep paying this tax? Well, the answer is buried in some really powerful psychological traps that are incredibly hard to escape. So first, you've got something called social proof. It's basically our brain's lazy shortcut. If everyone else is going on that crazy expensive trip, it must be the normal, right thing to do. Then, of course, there's FOMO, the fear of missing out, which is just put on steroids by social media, showing you every amazing highlight of the fun you're not having. And maybe the biggest one of all is the performance of affluence. This is that silent agreement where everybody pretends they're totally fine with the spending, which in turn pressures you to pretend you are too. This quote just absolutely nails it. It's a Mexican standoff of fake affluence. It's this collective delusion. Everyone sitting around the table is secretly panicking about the cost, but nobody wants to be the one to break that illusion and admit, hey, I can't afford this. So we all just stay silent and we all overpay. All right, so we've laid out the problem. The question is, how do you actually opt out of this without, becoming a total hermit? Well, there's a pretty clear framework you can use to get your financial freedom back and, believe it or not, actually make your real friendships even stronger. It's really just a three-step process. First, you've got to be the one to suggest the alternative. Don't just wait to get invited to the expensive dinner. Be the person who plans the picnic or the game night first. Second, you need a script, something you can say to state your boundaries clearly and without feeling guilty. And third, by speaking up, you actually open the door for all the other people in the group who are feeling the exact same way, but were just too scared to say anything. And this is the script. It's so powerful because it's not an apology, it's not an excuse, it's just an honest statement of your priorities. You're basically saying, my peace of mind is more important than this one expensive activity, and I value our friendship enough to find a way to connect that doesn't stress me out. Now, let's be real for a second. This might not work with everybody. Some friendships, if you really look at them, are built almost entirely on a foundation of spending money together. And if you stop spending, the friendship just kind of evaporates. And yeah, that stings, but it's also a really powerful filter. It shows you which of your connections were real and which ones were just, well, transactional. And here is the secret ingredient that makes this all so worth it. Every time you say no to something, take the money you saved and put it into a separate savings account. Call it your freedom fund. Every time you skip that $100 brunch, put that $100 right in the fund. Seriously, watching that account grow is the best motivation. It's real, tangible proof that every dollar you save is buying you more freedom and more options in your life. Because when it comes down to it, opting out of the friendship tax isn't just about money. It's about fundamentally changing how you define friendship. It's about making a shift from consumption to actual connection. And this is the real difference you've got to figure out. Is this person your friend, or are you just their customer? A customer's value is based on what they can buy. A friend's value is just them, their presence. Real friendships are the ones that survive and actually get stronger long after you set your financial boundaries. And that's really the heart of it all. The moments you actually remember, the deep talks, the inside jokes, that time you all got ridiculously lost on a hike, those things almost never have a big price tag. Your true friends, your real friends, they value you for who you are, not for what you can afford to buy when you're with them. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Take a hard look at your social calendar, and maybe even your last bank statement. Are your friendships built on genuine connection, or have they become a series of expensive transactions? The answer just might change everything for you.